Hello, am I audible? Okay. Let's wait for a few minutes so that others will also join. Hello. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Let's start off with
Good evening. Let's start.
yeah. So today we'll be covering class caching. So basically, your caching, a Redis part, Celery, and how to do scheduling with Celery, how to send emails with Celery. So that the backend jobs will be covered today. Okay. So today I borrowed a Windows laptop since I assume most of would be in Windows. And for Linux and Mac OS, the Redis part is pretty simple. Only Windows, it's a little bit more involved. So let's start off. Okay, I hope you can see the screen. Okay, so first of all, what we need to do for Linux and Mac OS, your system is fine, totally fine. But the problem arises with Redis specifically that Redis does not run natively on Windows. So either you need to have some kind of Linux system installed inside Windows. So for that, what we'll be doing is installing WSL. So for this, WSL can be pretty straightforward, but sometimes it causes issues. So if you get any issue, you can raise that up on Discourse, and we will try to sort it out. So the simplest way to install WSL is to just go to the terminal in Windows. So either your PowerShell or your command prompt, and type in WSL double hyphen install. So when you do this, I have WSL already installed, so it says it's already installed. But when you do this, Ubuntu version of Linux gets installed in your Windows. So not the graphical interface, only the command line as well as whatever internal tools there are that will be installed on your Windows system. So once it is installed, and if you have any issues, you can just Google search it or YouTube search how to install WSL. They will give you a full guide on how to install WSL. That's a pretty common thing to install WSL. Right. So once you get this installed, you will open your computer will restart, and then you have to open Ubuntu. So you would see Ubuntu written over here if you have installed the default version of WSL. So once you have this, some kind of setup will take place, and after that setup process, it will ask you for a password, root password, and please remember that root password. It is possible to recover it, but it will take more time and effort. So just set up your root password, and when you're typing password, like so suppose I'm writing password. So I'm writing something, but this will not be visible to you. That is a security feature so that others cannot see your password. So this password will not be written, but whatever you type gets registered. So you can use that and then set up your password. And after setting the password, the first thing would be to update your Linux. So sudo apt update. This updates. It's like a Windows update, that kind of sort. So update it. It will install the latest version of all the softwares and stuff. So whenever you're writing sudo, it will ask you for your password. So that's why your password is important. And after that, after this update, you type in sudo apt upgrade. So it will also upgrade your system. Okay, I've already done that, so everything is fine. Just type in Python and check Python should be installed by default. Okay, as you can see, Python 3.12 is installed for me. So next up, we have a new system over here. What we had previously coded might be on Windows. You might not have coded everything in WSL. So why don't we just copy this thing into WSL? So you can copy it, or otherwise, if you already have everything set up in Git or GitHub, then you can directly pull all the things from GitHub. So to pull all the things from GitHub, it's very simple. Just go to your URL. So we already have everything in GitHub. So I don't want to copy it. Anyways, I don't have a version of it over here. That's why I'm not able to copy it. So you can copy it also, but better would be just to pull from GitHub. I hope you already have set up your projects on GitHub. Okay, so this is the repository where I'm keeping track of all this. So first, before we even do this, we actually need your terminal, your WSL or Ubuntu terminal, to recognize that you are this person. You are logged in. To log in, what you do is there is a command line tool called as GitHub CLI, GHCLI. So that makes the login process very simple. That's why I use it. So type in GitHub CLI for Linux, and you will get a command to install it. So if we go here, yeah, Bhaskaran.
Yeah, are you walking us through to probably reinstall the existing application from GitHub to Linux
Yes,
environment?
yes.
Only for why can't we just run another terminal in? We can continue to run our application in Windows,
Hmm.
and only an additional terminal probably to only for Redis we can probably use that WSL, right?
Yeah, definitely you can do that.
Okay, that will be acceptable because that's what I am done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
That is
don't want to
acceptable.
completely go into a Ubuntu environment. Only for the
Yes.
Redis I am putting it there. That's
Yeah, that is fine. Just run the Redis server on Ubuntu terminal. That's all.
that should be okay, right?
And yeah,
Okay.
and Celery as well.
Yeah, salary, okay.
Yeah,
Backend jobs, I will put it on the.
yeah. No. All right. So if you want that process, I can link that up in one of the previous sessions. Last up, I had showed how to do that. So I'll just link that up.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I will link it up. So this we will just install this GitHub CLI for Linux, And you see this command over here is a long command. Just copy it, paste it, and then you should be able to use GitHub CLI. And to authenticate yourself from the terminal, you can just type in GitHub gh auth login, and this will ask you how you want to authenticate. So the github.com, that is your personal one, and go for HTTPS. That's a very simple one to authenticate. And log in with a web browser. Hit enter, and then this will give you a code in order to log in. And open GitHub on your browser. So it should open GitHub. Okay, so it says cannot open. Sometimes that's an issue because we are on WSL, does not have a browser. So you can just go directly to this website, provided that your browser is logged in, and then you can sign in and paste the code over there. I'm already signed in, so not an issue for me. And once you sign in, now you can copy all the code from your private repository. So let's create. Okay, I've created a folder, and in here I'll clone that GitHub repository. Back to our repository, we can go here. You can use either of these, probably GitHub CLI because you already have GitHub CLI installed. So you can just go here, GitHub CLI, copy this code, and this should clone your repository to Ubuntu. Okay, so this has now been cloned, and now we can go into this and then type in code dot, and this should open this up in VS Code. Okay, now we are back to our repositories. So first thing again, you have to install all the things for the backend and the front end. So for backend, previously I had not created a requirements.txt. So make sure to keep a requirements.txt. That makes it very simple to install everything all at once. Otherwise, manually installing it is a big pain. So actually, I've already created that requirements so that I don't have to again go through all that manual installation. And then creating a requirements over here. And let's paste this. Okay, so if you don't know how to create a requirements.txt, you can just do pip freeze and then greater than symbol and whatever is your file name. So it redirects the output of pip freeze to a particular file, r2.txt. So right now my Python should be don't doesn't have anything. So maybe this would not have anything. I mean, it does have some things that was default by default installed. So this is not the one that we need. So let me delete it. Okay, back to our backend. And then let me install this. So I would like to install it in a virtual environment. Just one thing, so I'll just install it in a virtual, create a virtual environment, install it there. Okay, so virtual environment created. Now let's activate that. That would be This is too long. Okay, I'm just decreasing the size for one bit. So source dot .venv, whatever is the folder name, bin activated. Now install requirements.txt. Pip install -r for recursively, whatever is in req.txt. Okay, req, yes, req.txt. So it might take a little bit of time to install everything back. Okay, so this is just to start the project again in WSL. So if we have already done that, what we need to do is actually install Redis. That's our main motive today, to install Redis and Celery and run it. So if we go to the Redis documentation, we will see the command to install Redis there. Redis is an in-memory cache. It runs as a server, and then you can use that as a cache or also as a message broker, and we'll be using it as both. For Celery, we'll be using it as a message broker, and for Flash Cache, we'll be using it as a cache. So we can go into install Redis on Linux, and then you can see there's a command over here. It adds something to the packages and then installs it and installs update. So just copy this and then we can paste it in our terminal. So either here or here, both are the same thing. So doesn't matter where you open this up. Just make sure that this says bash. If it says Windows or PowerShell or CMD, then that means you're on the wrong terminal. Make sure in VS Code this says bash. Otherwise, you can, on the right hand side, there's an arrow. You can open that up and then open different terminals. So you can see there are different options for me, bash and tmux, but we need bash. Okay, so pasting that Redis install command and giving the password. Okay, so it says, do you want to? So since I've already installed a Redis, so it's saying me to overwrite. So let me just say no. Mm, okay, I'll just cancel this. And then after that, you need to run the Redis server. So you can enable this Redis server. So generally Redis starts automatically, but if it doesn't, then you can enable it to restart at runtime. So whenever you launch WSL, Redis automatically starts. This is to do that. So let me just check if Redis is working. Okay, Redis is not found. Okay, just a minute. I'll just re-download it again, overwrite it, and then repasting the command. All right. So let me enable Redis server. Okay, actually Redis server is running. It is already binding to this 637 line. Since my Redis server is running, now that means I'm good to go. Just to double check, Redis server is not stopped or whatever. We can just type a ping command to Redis server. Okay, so this is Redis CLI. We can use this to interact with Redis. So I can just ping it. First of all, if it opens this up, that means you are good to go. Redis is running. And this ping is just normal way to check if something is coming back or not from Redis. That means Redis is working fine. So until you have this WSL, it should run. Okay, so one thing done. Now next thing, to me, you also need to install Celery, but let's do that later on. First, let's start with cache. How do we implement cache? So I think our backend requirements was installed. Let me go to the front end also and install all the requirements. So for here, for the front end, all the dependencies to install, you can use npm, and then install. So this will take a little bit time. Till then, I will run my front end code. Okay, a Flask server is running. That is good. And serving on 5000. All right. Till here, any doubt? Everything's okay till now. We just installed Redis. That's all. Okay. So next up, let's go to the Flask caching documentation and implement Flask caching. So already opened this up, Flask caching. So to install Flask caching, we can use pip install Flask caching. And make sure we are in virtual environment that you just created. Or if you're using global environment, that's fine. But if you're using virtual environment, make sure it is active. For me, it is not. So let me activate that. Okay, now I can install Flask caching. And anytime you install something new, you can just update your requirements so that it stays up to date. Flask caching is now installed. So first things, we'll go by the documentation, whatever it says. So for Flask caching, we need some configurations. We have to tell what type of cache it is. Can you see the font? I hope this is fine. So for cache type, you have to mention what type of cache we are using. Simple cache is just using your memory to cache, but we'll be using Redis cache here. And default timeout is the default timeout when cache will expire. These two things we have to add to our configuration. We have already created a configuration config.py. So let's add that here. I will add it to my base configuration. Just a little bit of formatting difference since we are using classes here. Okay, default timer 300, simple cache. Instead of simple cache, we'll be using Redis cache. All right, so this is my configuration done. And when we go back to our Flask documentation, you can see what kinds of cache we can use. So for here, we have some simple cache, file system cache, all different types of cache. So I'm using this Redis cache since we have already used Redis. Okay, back to the top. What do we need? We need to initialize this cache with our app instance. So here, this cache has been initialized with the app instance. Okay, there are two ways to do this. One is to do it in your main where you have defined your app. Otherwise, you can also use cache.init app like we did with Flask Security and Flask SQL Alchemy. First, initialize the cache somewhere else and then add it to init app. We'll be using this way because this can also be fine, but sometimes what happens, we have circular import issues. That's why we should define cache in some kind of extension and then import it from there so that we don't get any circular imports. So we will go here. We already have extensions.py. Similarly, we will install from Flask caching. This has not taken my Python. So if you are here, you can go here and then I wanted to change the Python environment. Okay, this is something else. I kind of messed up somewhere. Okay, just a minute. Let me Google search how to change the virtual environment because it is not taking Flask caching. VS Code does not understand I have Flask caching installed in my virtual environment. I don't know how to do that, so just let me Google search it. This is Python select interpreter. Okay. It's kind of weird that it is not. Okay, maybe my extensions might not be working. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So let me install the Python debugger and Python language support. But anyways, let's continue. From Flask caching, we'll import cache. and then we'll instantiate the cache instance. Cache equal to this. Okay, so we have initialized here in the extensions. Now I will import this in my app.py file where I will link it with app, Flask app. So let me do it somewhere where we are doing all the extensions and stuff. Okay, I've imported cache from extensions, and then somewhere over here we can have cache.init app and give it the app instance. Okay, so this is my cache uh, initialized. And then I like to do one thing so that to check if cache is working properly or not. I just create a route for this caching. And I actually want to just use this in order to see if it is caching properly or not. So let me import the time. And I just want to return this time dot. Okay, let's import date time. I'm now getting a proper method. Okay, so it should return the UTC now time.
How does it say that it is working? It's just a
Yeah, so yeah. So I've not added cache over here. You
yeah.
have to add a decorator, cache, and here as well. First, let me check if this endpoint is working or not.
But it
So
doesn't
let's just
check
go
the
to the
cache.
browser. Yeah, it does not. I'll add
Okay.
the cache decorator. This is my Python running. Okay, stopped working. Mm. All right, we got some issue. We have some issue with init app.
You got to add the route somewhere, right? Register it, right? It's a part of blueprint.
Yeah, I can add it. The issue is over here.
Okay.
Okay, now since my extensions are now installed, I can set it to my actual interpreter. Can browse it and go to the .env bin and Python 3 or 3 dot. 1, 2. Okay, so now my autocomplete should work. Okay, same issue. Just let me go back to the documentation and check. So we have cache.init app.
What's actually error being thrown?
The error being thrown is this concatenation. So that is happening inside this caching, inside fast caching in init.py. Okay, so let me just for now try to do it the other way. Okay, still an issue.
Is there anything to do with the configuration parameter that?
Yeah, probably.
Cache type. Okay.
I don't see any issues over here. What about simple cache? Most probably it's the configuration itself. Or maybe I'm passing the app wrong, but that should not be the case.
Oh, the sequence. Yeah, that's correct. Sequence was wrong.
Hmm, still an issue. I'm just doing trial and error right now. Okay, so that kind of worked, still getting some issue. Flash caching, okay, flash type is set to, okay, that is not an issue. Okay, so learned a new thing. Oh, no, no, no. So actually, my cache, my config has not been loaded yet. So if I try to do it after the config loading, okay, so yeah, so config itself is the problem. Let me see, cache type. I mean, definitely config has the issue, but I'm failing to see how. Okay, let me change it to what, but we can't have strings like this. Okay, I'll check what is the issue. Right now, let me do the straightforward method. I'll just add a config like this and add the config from mapping.
And there was a dictionary format, and then I think what they have given is in a dictionary format.
Yeah, I'll just remove this.
Yeah, I
I'll
have
check that
used it as a
later.
dictionary. It works. That's correct.
Okay, and then we'll configure it like this. Let's configure it there itself, where we have initialized this cache. And then the default timeout. Okay, so this is how I'm configuring it. Now back to our application. Remove this. From extensions, import cache.init app, and then give it app. Okay, try to run it now. Okay, so Redis is not found, so that is an issue. So I need to install Flask Redis as well. So pip install. Let me just check the name. Okay, for inside Python also we need to install Redis. That is the difference. Redis server has to be installed in WSL, but wherever you are using this, wherever you are running the Flask application, you need to install Redis as well in Python. Okay, now finally it runs. Let me check my endpoint. Okay. And so we are getting the current date. Okay, so whenever I refresh it, it should give me a new date. That tells me there's no cache there. So if we add a cache in here, to add a cache, you just have at cache, the name of your instance, dot cached. And you can give a timeout here as well, but the default timeout of 300 milliseconds. So if I refresh it now, okay, something went wrong. Okay, so the issue was I have imported it inside. That's why I don't have a cache instance. No problem. I'll import it outside the function. Okay, so here we have the time, and if I refresh it, you can see it's not changing. That means that it is using the cache. because the function is not being called. The simple test just to check if the cache is working or not. If I change the timeout to something shorter, like 3 seconds. So first time, I mean 3 seconds have passed, still it is not changing. That could be an issue. Let me have it 1 second. Still it is not changing. Something is definitely wrong. Okay, back to our documentation. So it says cache.cache timeout. That's what we did. Maybe our okay, what if I create a local host here? Okay, it's still saying the same exact time. It has been cached, but okay, let's close this, restart the server once again.
In the configuration, what was the timeout? Maybe it was too long.
Yes, it was, but
It may not be
should
overwriting.
yeah, configuration had 300 seconds.
300 seconds.
Yeah,
Is it a second or 300
yes,
seconds?
it is seconds.
That's 5 minutes, right?
Yeah,
So maybe that's why it's frozen for 5 minutes.
let me try to change it over here.
That's a better way of checking, yes. Let's wait for a minute.
What has happened to my server today? We're still getting the same time, even though. Okay, I have no idea exactly how what is wrong over here.
Maybe the clock froze.
Hopefully not. Okay, so let's not waste time on this. Let me come back to this after we implement caching over in different routes. So this is the caching part. Next up, you have to implement this on our routes. So whatever we have created. So we had created these resources. So typically when you would use caches on the get instance. When you are using get, you are getting a lot of data. That's where you will be using cache. So let's go over here in the products resource and import cache here. So this will be from extensions. So that is why I initialized cache over there in the extension so that we can import it everywhere without circular problems. Otherwise, if we had initialized in the app instance, the app.py file, since this file is imported in the app.py file, that creates issues. So we have over here, and now on the get instance, I can use at cache.cached, and I can give a timeout and so on. Okay, so a question here is cache.cached good over here in this get instance, in this get by ID? Is it an ideal place to have it?
So ID will keep changing, right?
Yeah, but it will be cached based on the function call.
Hmm.
So that is a bad thing. You should not cache it based on if there
Wait,
is a parameter, if there is any parameter that the function depends on, you should not cache it directly. You should cache it based on a parameter. So in cache also you have a function to add a parameter, but it's better to use cache.memoize. So this automatically takes into account what the function parameters are, and accordingly it caches it. Suppose I give ID of 1. So for ID of 1, it will have a cache. For ID of 2, it will have another cache. So whenever it tries to get ID 1, it will, if it has a cache, then it will get from that. Otherwise, it will have issue. Okay, so that is memoize. And okay, so you can have on the get instance. One more important thing is whenever you are adding something, some data to it, then you should invalidate cache, right? So if I'm having an ID of 1 being getting an ID of 1, then a later point of time, and immediately suppose after 2 seconds, I have a put call or a patch call on ID 1, then should we
I,
invalidate this cache?
I have a query.
Yeah.
Is it cache route? I mean, only in the resources, endpoints, or can we use it in the database?
For database calls, no, you can't use it. It's specifically made for resources or endpoints.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, it's more towards the
Yeah.
website.
Yes.
Okay,
There are different things to cache the database side, but
that's different.
I,
This is
yeah,
not the one.
yeah,
This is basically this is a
yes.
Flask.
You would use another extension for that. Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. I just wanted to know that.
All right. So you understood why we need to invalidate the cache if we change the data. If we change the data, then the one getting should be a new data, not the cache data. So for that, we'll just invalidate this cache when according to the ID. So let me go back to the documentation and I want to see the function. Okay, so this is memoized. So only two functions are important. There are only two decorators there, cache.cache and cache.memoize. Okay, so you can delete the memoized cache using this cache.delete memoized.
Why would I do this delete? What is that? What do I gain by that? It's just a dictionary kept inside, right?
Yeah. So what you gain by that is the users will not have stale data.
No,
Suppose you have cache.
unless the memory unnecessarily grows where I'm not. I mean,
y-
it's otherwise it anyway after the timeout it will be anyway get cleared.
Yeah, but users still could get a stale data. Suppose I change the data for ID 1, I change the data.
Oh,
Then if it is already cached in get, the user will get old data. It will not get the new one. That's why when we have a put call or a patch call on ID1, we should invalidate the cache. Got
Uh,
it?
no, I didn't get it. You mean at the time of changing the data, you want to delete?
Invalidate cache.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So if we have a put call on ID1, then I want to
Yeah,
change,
I get it.
invalidate the specific ID1 cache.
Okay.
So cache.delete memoized and
Use that
uh,
ID. You probably
the
use
name
that.
of the function.
Is it?
Uh,
Okay. Oh, you put the name of the function.
it's better to have a key prefix. Do we have a key prefix?
Key is to identify the.
Yeah, identified this particular cache.
No, identify a
So
particular instance.
yeah. Okay, so we don't have it over here. We have that in cached, not in memoize. So I think I've not used memoize that much. So okay, so we have this. Okay, so you can use this, the function name, and what is this? Foobar.
Object. That's object itself.
Mm.
Object method.
And then the actual ID
eh,
that you want to invalidate it as.
Okay, 5 is the actual.
Yeah, data A and B. That is the data that is this memoize is working on.
What's the 5 representing here? 5
See
seems to
this
be twice.
this function has two different parameters.
Okay, this is for the
So it
function.
will so it will cache based on these two parameters and those exact parameters it is asking.
Then what is the
So you have to
memos, memo is 5. What is that 5?
five is the
Time?
timeout
That's not
5 seconds.
that's not related to when I'm deleting. That 5 is
No,
not part of that.
only timeout. Yes. So if I have some
Yeah,
kind of
I think it needs a little bit of playing around.
yeah. So
Okay.
if you go here, you can see the first parameter here is timeout. So that is what it gives 1, 2, 3 the time,
Okay.
and we just delete it based on the function. So it says go give the class, and then the class name. Then what you want to, since we have this parameter of ID, we'll give the ID. So this already takes the ID. Do we have? Yeah, already has the ID. So when we get that put call on this particular, it will invalidate this cache. So that is the only important thing: how to create a cache, how to invalidate it. And same goes with the list resources. Okay, we have an error over here. I'm always having trouble with relative inputs. All right. So we created a cache and accordingly we'll delete it. So on put calls, on patch calls, we can delete this cache. Post calls also, yeah, post calls get by ID does not matter because ID would be a new ID. So you don't need to do anything for post calls. And for delete also, we need to invalidate the cache. Yeah, so for get we'll use cache.cached because it does not take any parameters. Okay, and for post again, we can invalidate that cache. So for cache.cache, there's a different way to invalidate it. or maybe they're the same way, but we can add a key prefix so that we know what this particular, we know what cache this belongs to. So we product get, and then we can delete that cache. Okay, let me just go to the documentation. Okay, cache.delete, and you can use the key in order to delete the particular or whatever key prefix we had.
What are we deleting now? Delete the key.
Yeah, the key.
Um, how is it different from memoize?
Yeah, memoized takes a different. It's a different function
Correct,
you
but
use to delete memoized.
what is the difference between these two? If I'm deleting the key in a cache,
Hmm. So in here we are using dot cached, cache. So it does not take any parameters. So we don't have to worry about what parameter it is
okay,
taking.
okay, okay.
So you can use this. So this is all you need to do for caching. You wherever you have get all, you don't have any parameters you need to worry about. You can use cache.cache. Where you have any parameters, you use cache.memoize. And for deleting the cache or invalidating the cache, you can use cache.delete memoized or cache.delete with the key of whatever we have defined. Okay, so this is this much cache you have to add to all the endpoints that you feel sufficient for. I won't be adding right now all the cache. Okay. Uh, any questions on this? Okay, I hope that is all. Because we just need to worry about four functions: cache.memoize, cache.cache, and two different deletion of the caches. I hope that's not a lot, but it took a lot of time because we had certain issues here and there. Okay, caching is fine. And next up, let's go for Celery. So Celery internally uses Redis. That's why we had to install Redis. Or we can use other things as well, but in our course, we are using Redis. So first of all, how does Celery? We have to install Celery. So we'll go to Celery documentation. So we can go to this background task with Celery. Firstly, pip install Celery. Okay, some issues. Okay, I'm again going to a virtual environment. So I'm having an issue. It says Python. This is an externally managed environment. I have seen this issue, but I'm not sure how exactly it happens. So let me do one thing. Go back to our Ubuntu over here. So generally, what happens here is when you get this error is this is an externally managed environment. You created this virtual environment for something else, and you're trying to access from some other kind of environment. That's when this issue happens. Again, I'm trying to activate it and install from here. Let's see if it works. Okay, it is working. So I install Celery in that virtual environment. Next step, we need to integrate Celery with Flask. So this is the Celery starter code. What it takes, it creates this particular function, Celery init app. You create this particular function. Exactly what it does is takes the Flask, runs Celery inside the Flask. But there are a few different things that I don't know exactly how it works. So it instantiates the Celery app, takes the Flask app, and returns the Celery app. That's the whole gist of it. So we'll just copy this code and create a Celery worker for it. No, it paste it somewhere inside my backend folder. Okay, so this is the starter code. All right. And we have to also configure this broker URL, backend URL. And now in our main app.py file, I'll do the Celery configuration. So again, we are configuring from mapping, saying Celery equal to dict this localhost. Here we have to add the broker URL. So broker URL you can find where your Redis is running. That is your broker URL. So if we go back to our terminal and type in Redis server, and then you can see it is running on port 6379. So that is what port we will be pointing this instance to. So that Celery knows where to pick in the jobs from. And this broker URL and backend URL should be different. You can have a /0 over here, /1 over here. And
Now,
let
how
me
do you
remove this.
differentiate that? That's a cell. That's where the cell, Redis is
Yeah,
running.
this is the red where the Redis is running
Yeah.
6379 local
/0
6379.
and /1 takes it as request and
Yeah, think of them
this.
as different endpoints. So that broker URL is particularly this endpoint, and result backend is on slash one.
No, is 0 1 standard or is it configurable somewhere?
It should be configurable, but one time I tried to change, it did not work.
But then
So
if I
not
use
sure.
0 and 1, it should work, right?
It should work, yes.
Okay.
All right. So we have the Celery app and Init app, and what I'll do is also return this Celery app along with the app because we need Celery app in our root outside our app.py file. Okay, we are returning both. So when we are creating this app, this function runs, we are getting app as well as Celery. Okay, so let's just see if it is running or not. No, I did not import the function. So this Celery init app is the function that we just created in celery.py. So I'll just import that. Then try to run again. Okay, we have some issue with circular imports. It says import cannot import Celery from partially initialized module Celery, most likely due to circular import. I have a feeling this is not an issue with circular import. So what I'll do is try to run it in here in Ubuntu. Usually you will not have these much issues, but I mean, so we have virtual environment installed, Python 3 app.py. Okay. Okay, so same issue. So maybe that is the issue. It's saying we can't import Celery and task. Okay, so let me try to solve one different thing. So just let me Google search it if this is the way to install it.
What's a square bracket?
So it's with extra bundle. Install Celery in the context of Flask. Although the documentation says install it like this only. Okay, so let me go back to my previous last session that I took and then borrow the code from there. Maybe somewhere there's an issue in the code. So I did things a little bit differently then. So it's the same thing, just the config is from this object that I just created. And I also had added the time zone. That is the only difference here, config from object instead of config from mapping. Right, let me try to run this. Okay, still not running. I installed a different package called Celery with square brackets Redis. Okay, see, uh, I got the issue. My name of this folder is the file is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that was the issue. Let's go back and rename it to something else. Celery Factory and app.py. Change this from Celery to from Celery Factory. Name the Celery Factory because we are creating the celery there. So it is a factory. Okay, from Flask. Name Flask is not defined. Did you mean task? So in Celery Factory, this mentions Flask and does not know what Flask is. So I'll import from Flask. Although you can just remove it, that's just the type that it's saying. And this app should be of type Flask.
That's not required. You don't have to mention that, right?
Yeah,
Since you
you can
mentioned
remove this.
code, otherwise it's not required.
Yeah, that was on the default code.
That's
Okay. One more thing, we should also mention the time zone. We are on Asia/Kolkata. Okay, so celery is okay. Now we need to run the celery. Another server I have to create. So for running celery, we should go here. The command. Okay, so celery hyphen a means what app, the celery app instance. So for us, it would be app colon the name of the celery instance. So here we have celery and worker because it's a celery worker. Worker is works on a task and then computes whatever is required and stores it. So that is the work of a worker. And then we also have a celery beat. So instead of worker here, we would use beat. Beat is for scheduling task. At a particular time, I want to run a function. So beat is for that. Right now, we have to
what
run
is the
worker.
distinction between these two subtasks? Worker is one. Can we
Yeah,
create multiple workers or is it just only one worker?
we should create just one worker on one computer, and then we can decide how many cores it has. So we can, given my computer has a 4-core CPU, so I can give it 4 cores. And similarly, you can have more cores. Just run one instance, and then according to the processing needs, you can up. increase or decrease the amount of cores
What
in
is the
this.
relation between a worker and the beat?
Beat is for scheduling. That means worker is the tasks. Suppose I'm sending emails. So that is one kind of function that is running.
Is,
Beat is something
is
that schedules.
basically
So
it is
at
a
a
queue.
particular time, this
No,
will run a
is it a queue with a time deferred time period that it's supposed to do? It's a list of tasks is called a beat, is it?
no. See, beat is just initiating that task at a particular time. That's all.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
okay.
the
Yeah, all
yeah,
right.
the queue is the Redis. Redis is the queue message broker.
Okay, he
From the
gets.
message broker, we
Okay,
will the Celery will pull the tasks and compute that task, and then it will store it in the backend. Or if it's not required, sometimes we don't need to store data in the backend, so we just ignore that.
no.
And
Is my
this
understanding
beat,
correct? Wait a minute. Worker picks up the from the beat, evaluates, and if it is due, he pushes into the queue for the Redis to perform. Is that
so it's kind of correct, but
how is
a
the
better
workflow?
example.
How is the flow? I want to
Yeah,
understand so that
definitely. Okay, so we have this Redis. This is acting as the message broker. And then we have this message broker. We have Celery worker that pulls messages from the queue. So we have messages. Messages could come from Flask, could come from anywhere. So these tasks are created. So for us, it will be created by Flask, and then Celery worker will compute on those, and whatever is the required thing, it will do.
okay,
And Beat is somewhere that creates these tasks.
okay. So that's what I'm saying. Beat is putting the task into Redis, and salary is
Yeah.
emptying it.
Yes. So it will
That's
pull the
something
task.
like a push, and this fellow is lighting pop.
Yeah. So at time,
Yeah. Okay.
it's like a cron job that
On the scheduled time,
triggers a
he
job.
pushes it there. Okay.
Yes.
So it's like a calendar. So
Yes.
today to do task, and then this fellow gets it done and clears it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. So Salary hyphen A app. This you have to be careful about. This app is the name of the file, and Celery is the Celery instance that we created.
Instance there. It's not
Worker
a dot.
log level info.
It's not a dot. It's a colon.
You can have dot or a colon, both works.
Okay. And worker is a keyword.
Yeah.
Log level info. That's okay.
So Celery is not installed, so I'll install Celery.
How are we? Where are we configuring Redis in this?
Redis is configuring in our app.py.
Correct.
We are seeing where is the Redis,
Okay. Okay.
the broker,
Okay.
where to
Broker.
pull task
Broker
from,
label then. Yeah. Okay.
where to send the task in the
Mm,
back.
okay.
So again, I'll type that command Celery. Uh, okay. So hyphen A app.
Salary worker log level. That's okay. Oh, good. So no.
So it says package resources is deprecated. So we can do one thing. We can install this. Okay, depreciation warning package. So this package resource error comes up with the. I've seen it often. It comes when we don't have the
That's
required tools installed.
that's not a error, right? It's just a warning. But
Yeah, but
the error
this
is somewhere
gives that.
else.
Yeah, so package resource dot version conflict. So it's
How could it be then? If
related to that.
oh,
So
there are
pip
so many.
again virtual environment issue. I'll install it over here.
So fragile, the whole systems.
It's mostly if you work on it a lot, then
I know,
there
but
should not be an issue.
for a undergrad students probably doing a project and then he probably comes for a viva and then in 30 minutes he can fumble around in many places.
Mostly the issues are with the configuration. So
I
once
know.
the configuration is done, then you're good to
That's
go.
correct. That's correct. But then the whole configuration depends on so many parameters and versions and compatibilities, and that's why I call it as a very
Uh,
fragile. It's not a fire pool.
running the same command.
Worker log level. Okay.
Okay, so Celery is working. Mm, let's see why it was not working in that terminal. Okay, so I see one issue. I am inside this particular root folder.
Correct.
My app instance is in my backend folder. So when I say app colon
It
Celery, it does not
was
get
not
that.
referenced correctly. So you need to give that folder reference backend.
Okay, still that issue.
Okay, so it should be backend. Oh, you already moved into backend.
Yeah, I'm on the backend. There's certainly some issue with this virtual environment that I am having.
Are we not the same environment in the Ubuntu? No.
Yeah, we are on the same environment. The v.vnv is the same, but
So
somehow, so if I do pip install here, it's having issues.
just check which Python. Let's see whether it is referring to the correct ones. Which Python in both the places. At least we will get to know about the environment. No miss.
Which pattern is
It should
not
come.
work?
It doesn't work. Yeah. Ah, something basically.
Oh, okay. So,
Okay, Python 3. How about the other one? Is it the same?
okay. So,
It's different.
yeah,
It's different.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it is taking the actual virtual environment one,
Ah,
and this one is not the virtual. This is my root user Python 3. But I am inside the virtual environment, but it is taking that Python, so that is causing issue.
so there are two different versions. That's why there is we seeing performance difference.
Yeah, this one is the root one that comes with WSL, and this one is the virtual environment that we created.
Hmm.
Okay, so anyways, if there's any issue, you can reinstall the virtual environment and then do all the things.
Okay, tell me, how do I use this beat?
Yeah, we'll come to that next. First, let me create a task. Okay, so we have plenty of
I didn't have so many trouble.
time. No, this is the issue with this
I
virtual
know.
environment. I don't know how
Well,
this
I'm not
happened.
very comfortable with the Unix yet, so I'm largely in a window and just used only for
Hmm.
one
Okay.
terminal. I put in the WSL and then install that.
All right. So I'll create one tasks file in which I'll create. Okay, so just a simple function in order to test if Celery is working or not
Just set
properly.
up email or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, this is my function, our task, and from Celery, I'll import share task. That is a decorator, and in app.py just to check if things are working fine or not.
What's the meaning of calling it as a shared task?
By default, it is just a function.
No, but the,
Yeah.
the
So when we add the share task, now Celery knows that this is a task that should be executed with Celery. So when I can use the functions like dot delay, which actually sends it to Celery worker to get computed.
sorry, how do you evoke it?
Yeah, so we can use dot delay. So just import that function from dot tasks, and then we can have add dot delay. So this will
Okay, so
execute
basically,
it as a Celery task.
so add with the delay means after so many seconds or minutes or whatever time, right?
That does not exactly mean that. It just means send it to Celery. That's all.
Why delay? What is the reason to?
That's the naming scheme.
Okay, we may have to look at the documents. Fine.
Mm,
This is one way of adding.
yeah,
We are basically adding a task to the queue, correct?
yeah. Okay, let's go back to Celery. So whenever you add a task to Celery, you need
Hmm.
to reload it. It does not support hot reload like Flask server.
Sorry, reload what?
This server itself, it does not have hot reload. In Flask, what do? You save the changes and Flask automatically restarts. That does not happen here.
Oh,
So
because we
again,
changed the code, you are saying that we have got to recompile.
yeah, whenever you add a new task,
Dynamically, if it gets executed, it doesn't have to, right? So
it
this is
doesn't. Yeah.
no. This
So,
add with a delay is been now we
mhm.
just put in as a separate code. If it is in a loop,
Yes.
if it comes executed by another event,
No, 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 no issues there.
that will,
Only when you're changing the code.
because the code that's okay.
Yeah. But anytime, see, Flask reloads, that's why it becomes very easy to work.
I understand because this is in Python. The Flask will reload. He is not monitoring that.
Yeah.
That is why. That's all right. That makes sense.
And then start Celery. Okay. So now you can see task is shown over here. Task
Where do we
test
see?
dot add. Tasks over here. This
Yeah,
add function
this is
is
at
now
the time of
considered.
initializing when it is
Yes.
loading, right?
Yes. And now you can also see this task gets this is added. So multiple times Flask server got reinitialized. That's why we have three different tasks
Connected to Redis and then
added.
searching for neighbors and all
So
that.
you can
Fine,
see,
fine, fine, fine. He's adding the task. Why
yes.
is he doing multiple
So
times?
because we saved and did the changes multiple times in Flask. So every time it ran, it added a task. And you can also see the number of cores. Right now, I have 8 threads. That's why it says 8 concurrency. So it can compute 8 different tasks at a time. Distributed
Okay,
computing.
that's fine. Okay.
And so now let's add this as a API call.
Wait, no, no.
Yeah.
We put the task. The task is to accept two numbers and return a
Yes.
sum, right?
Yes.
Now, who is
And
sending?
we gave one.
Now, who is sending the numbers and who is receiving it?
Flask is sending the numbers. You see, when we add dot delay, this particular function is creating the task.
Yeah, okay. I could have saved it somewhere and then printed it.
Yes. So typically, what you would do is this would be behind the API call.
Right.
Yeah, just give me a minute.
Hmm.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, I'm back. Okay. So here we are. So behind an API call, it would look like this.
Mm-hmm. Return.
You need to return something as well.
You
So
can
in here,
you can return
what
that.
exactly?
You can return what
Uh,
is being arrived at. Add
no, we
return.
can't do that
Why?
because dot delay would finish later on. We won't get the solution right now when the API call is happening. That's the benefit of having it through a celery task. It's like a
I
asynchronous task.
understand. Okay, that's like a promise. But then what
Yes.
happened? What I'm saying is,
Yeah,
then it
tell me.
should be a side effect task, is it?
Yeah,
It will be a side
good.
effect. It can probably
Yeah,
print something, or it
uh,
can do
like message, emails
message.
being sent. That
Yeah,
could
you
be a
can
good
like,
task
yeah,
for
you
that.
can initiate something like a send a mail,
Yes,
send a chat message, or
or
whatever.
yeah, or it could be something that takes a very long time, like video processing, start a video
All right.
processing.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that,
All right.
because the user would not wait for that.
So this is
Or
all
if
right.
you're having a web scraping kind of thing, you have
Yeah.
behind that, you can have that.
Yeah. You go to the mutual funds and then ask for a tax return statement. It comes on next day. That's probably what it is.
Oh yeah, nice, nice.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That those
Yeah,
guys
okay.
are doing it in a batch.
So
So batch jobs, online requests. Okay.
salary task, the message gets stated
Start.
over here, task started.
Uh,
And inside a salary also, we can see some things. Let me have it side by side.
it should have reported, right?
So whenever I invoke this function, a new task should get created.
Yeah.
Okay, as you can see, a new gets created, a new task gets created.
Okay.
The important thing over here is the task ID. This is the task ID, the
Okay.
unique ID for all the tasks. So with this, we can fetch the results again. So suppose the front end also required that task. It wanted that at a later point of time. So we can send the front end
One
this task ID,
one
and
minute.
it can fetch it.
This is in celery, right?
Yeah.
The task what we are looking at is in the celery, not in Redis.
Mhm.
Redis,
Redis is used as a broker
yeah.
where
So
messages are stored.
but he does maintain a queue, right?
Yeah, Redis maintains a queue.
And the length of the queue can be also accessed.
Probably, but I've not
Oh, no.
worked on that.
Okay. This thing's fine so far. Now let us look at the beat, which is a pre-defined schedule, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Beat also. For Beat, first we need to have tasks done. So this is how you define tasks. You can define a SMTP sending messages,
Fine.
mails, and so on
So
as a task
there is a task already available. So we are now
available to you.
how frequently you're going to run it and what conditions you're going to run it, right?
Yes, correct.
Now,
Okay.
does it? Can I say
So for set,
depending on the data in the database,
mhm.
it becomes due to send a task or due to perform a task.
Okay. So what you want here? Can you
Say
give an example?
at the end of the day, if the bank balance is less than the minimum requirement, I need a SMS to be sent.
Oh, definitely yes. So that at the end of the day, that would be done by salary beat, checking the
Correct.
balance less than the amount
So all right.
that
So
could be
basically,
done by the task.
so that the routine there will probably scan all the accounts and then pick up the low qualifying ones and then send a message.
Yes, exactly. So that
And
functionality would be under your tasks.
that task will be run once in a day in the evening.
Yes.
Okay. So like
And
this, I
similar
can create.
thing you have to do in your app as well. So sending reminders that the appointments are there or not for
Yeah.
doctor.
Basically, it's a scheduler. It's
Yeah.
in the olden day we used to call it as a scheduler. Now you're calling it as a beat.
No, this beat, it's still called a scheduler in general. Beat is just the name for the salary.
I find everything people keep changing the terminology every second, every year. Just because, just
Definitely the apparatus.
yeah, I know. But
Okay, so go to the
fun to know the current colloquial terminology also.
basically cron jobs or schedulers. That's what generally we use.
Okay. Okay, beat schedule. I don't understand what's wrong with the simple word scheduler.
They wanted to name it beats.
That's
They named it. That's all.
it's just I want to be in my way, right? I'll change it.
Yeah. For B,
Madras was perfectly all right. Suddenly, some guys came and then said, "I want to call it as Chennai." What they who gained what? I don't know. It used to be a nice place called Madras.
okay. So we need to have the time zones, right?
That's what
Otherwise the
we are
scheduler
talking about. The
work on
scheduled
UTC.
transfer. Yeah, frame of reference must be there. Okay.
Okay, so this is basically what you have to do.
Wait.
Series
Let me
tasks.
just.
Yeah,
This
we'll copy
is
that and then we'll see.
okay.
Okay, so this is what it
Config.
is setting the configuration of the scheduler.
Wait, what is this? On after configure dot connect. What are those keywords? This is a predefined verb kind of a stuff, right? That's the way
It is
it's
like, yes,
okay.
after connection of Celery, this particular setup of periodic functions will start.
Set of periodic tasks, sender.
And this app should be actually Celery app for our case. I'm assuming just a minute. Yeah. So in here, app is the Celery instance.
It's not our app.
So we need
It's a salary.
Celery
Hmm.
dot on after configure dot connect. Okay. So as you can see, sender Celery doesn't matter much. So this is sending gives the time dot add periodic task. So anytime you're adding a periodic task running
Hmm.
periodically, this test.s is the function. Test is the name of the Celery task. Dot s, I don't know why they have kept it. Maybe scheduler.
Wait.
And
Test
then
name
the
of
parameters.
the name of the task. The
Yeah,
function defining the
this
task.
is the function name. Yeah, this is the function name. So in our case would be our task is add. Yeah. So
Add.
add.
Or is it add or
Then
is it no wait, is it add or is it a task?
this is the name of the function. Function dot s.
Okay. The one which we defined in salary.
Yeah, what we have to call
Okay.
and then give it the parameters 1 5. And this name could be anything you want. It's just for naming purpose.
For references.
Okay. And same thing, this gives the time. This is the exact same thing. So let's remove that.
I can schedule it. Okay.
And then 30 seconds expires 10. I don't know what this does.
Experiments been 10 times. Maybe after 10 repetitions it stops.
Okay, right. Makes sense.
The number
Okay,
of
and
repetitions.
this is the one that you'll be using most of the time for you.
Wait. Cron tab.
So
What is
add periodic task cron tab. Cron tab gives the exact time of the day that you want to fix this particular task. So hour is 7 a.m., minute 30, day of the
okay?
week,
Okay. Basically, the
first day,
first
Monday,
parameter
Tuesday.
you are modifying into a cron tab.
Yeah. So this is the time, right? So this will be
That's the
changed
next
to
one.
cron tab.
Changing it as a condition. Okay.
Yeah.
Hour, minute,
And,
day. Oh, that's super nice.
and day of the week you could have, I think
I
star
will.
would make it all.
I was
And
waiting only for this part. I mean, I was about to do this
ten
testing.
twenty
Okay,
test
good.
status. So for us we have 750, right? So 7 would be 19 and
20. Keep it 20.
that's at 55. 20 is 8 p.m. So 55 we should
Okay, another
have
4 minutes.
10:20.
Another 4 minutes.
Okay, so we added that. There are some issues here. The
Right.
issue being this cron tab we have not added
Right.
anywhere. So we have to import it from Celery.
Controls.
And let's go.
What happened to the send?
Yeah, the sender, these things will be
Yeah,
configured
that's
by
okay.
this
That's
decorator.
so add predict task is part of a celery.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything here is actually part of Celery
Okay.
itself. Okay, cron tab cannot be imported from Celery. Let me see where the import comes from. Dot schedules from Celery dot schedules.
Celery is to be yeah.
Let me remove that.
I know. Oh, no, you could have removed it. Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Be done with.
okay. So it should have added some few tasks. We can go to our Celery workers, which is running. And then, oh, we need to create a new instance for Celery Beat. So same thing that we did previously.
Sorry, why new
Okay.
instance?
Because Celery Beat schedules, the scheduler has to run as well. This is
It's a
only
separate
the
another
worker running.
terminal. That's another
Yeah.
terminal for a scheduler.
Yes.
You see, okay. So concurrently, I will be running 5 terminals, right? Back end, front
Class.
end, Redis, Celery one, and then Beat separate.
One more probably for Mailhog if you are using Mailhog as a server.
Mail, no, mail is a part of
Local testing.
your back end, so it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
separate one.
No, I'm saying if you are running Mailhog, which is
No, not
testing
Mailhog. I'm not putting a Mailhog. I'm just using the Google
actual mails. Okay, that is fine.
SMT, SMTP.
Yes.
I can configure it from my account. I mean, that works, and then even Google Chat
Mhm.
also works. I'm able to send messages. That's okay.
Okay, so let's go.
I didn't know scheduler needs another terminal. Okay. So that will also be a WSL, right?
Yeah.
No, of course, here you're running everything in WSL, but then, oh, no,
So
Celery.
back to our backend folder.
Hmm.
Then here, Celery hyphen name app. Then again Celery instance. Then here we have to add beat log legal info.
It's the same terminal that's running, right? Or
No,
no?
I've not activated the virtual environment.
I'm confused now. You mean Celery has been shut down?
Celery worker is running and Celery beat we are starting.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see these schedules are starting. We should see all the schedules as well. Okay.
Where is to we scheduled what time? 1955, right?
It's already done for
Crossed.
that. Yeah. So
Is it
we
there?
have this.
Or
Yeah. So these for 10 seconds that we had added over here. This one is running every 10 seconds.
so that is okay.
That is running. And
This fellow is not there. Confirm.
every 30 seconds. And I will just change the scheduler to 58. So again, anytime you change Celery beat configuration, you have to restart this.
Wait. Celery beat has to be restarted, not the Celery worker.
Yeah, so any change in the task, you would have to change the worker. Task did not change. Task is this. The
Okay.
function,
Okay.
it did not change. So you don't have to worry about that. Only the setup changed for beat. That's why I just restarted beat. And all these tasks you can see this should be coming to here. As soon as that gives a task, this should receive and then execute it. Yeah, it does. So every time it is sending, it is receiving. Okay, so that is how you configure these things. Let's just wait for 58 for the timed task to start.
All the other kids have ran away.
Okay, everyone gone.
They must have seen Aditya with so much of experiences taking so much problem. We will we will come back on some other day.
Actually, you saw a lot of debugging as well, so that might be
I,
helpful for other students because generally,
I mean, my experience, the number of lines, I mean, the resilience of a system is inversely proportional to the number of lines. The longer
can
the
you
number of lines,
elaborate?
what I'm saying is how confident, if I got to put a code on, say, a satellite, first
Hmm,
I will ask how long is the code? The longer the code, the reliability is poor
yeah.
on any critical applications,
Hmm.
whether it is a data acquisition, whether it is a probably telemetry tracking, anywhere. The first checking, the moment somebody comes with a 10,000 line code, we say, yeah, look, that's going to fail every other day. Here, when I'm seeing the systems, there are so many modules being put together at the field in the hands of the coder and the sitting in the terminal. That is likely to be so fragile.
That's
No wonder they create a
this is a
job for them.
saying also, right? Keep it simple, stupid.
No, but whatever is the simple you keep, you look at the number of parameters and the number of different modules and then different things which you
So
put to. It's a huge.
definitely it is huge, but we are having issue. These tasks are not working because this
Okay, I will
I
give a
failed to
break.
change. And
We will attack it to maybe next session.
I just I did not replace the name of the function, so it is
Ah,
it has
that was the
come.
reason. See, that is, we kept the original 2000.
It's just a few seconds for me to change. Okay. See, but the thing is that these systems are in place in actual working application. So if you are working at somewhere, these systems you would come across.
I, I will not agree with that. This is all, I know it is more popular for software which is going to be used for a few years, it's okay.
Yeah.
One of the reason is yes, we don't need to probably be so rigorous in developing a rugged system because in any case, this is at the end user, their preference will keep changing. Tomorrow somebody comes with a colorful, flashy
No,
screen.
these are actually
Everybody
not
tries to
the
read.
front end things. These are
Yeah,
actually backend systems, and
no,
backend
for the
systems are
back end,
typically
these are
more
not
robust.
no, but back end. I don't know.
Mm, So
If you ask me to probably, will I recommend this framework for a banking application? No, I'll not choose.
okay, so we are having that function called sad text world that is creating the
Scan,
error over here, but
add
scheduling we
it,
still did not get. So that is an issue.
sending your task.
This 1020 we did not get.
No, but that should have been
These
only
functions
one
are
time. No, that should have been only one, right? So, oh no, it's a periodic, but then it is one time only, right?
which one? Are you talking about this line 88?
Yes, periodic task, day of the week, and It should have. How do we figure out where it is?
I'll just see if we have a 10 and the output. So 10, 20, that would be, we have 30 as output. 30. Oh, yeah, so
Yeah,
this is
that
the
is
output.
output. Yeah, that's correct. It worked.
Yeah. Okay, so the scheduling
It
you
worked.
for every day you can use something
Oh.
like this. And
Mm.
other things remaining is the mailing part. So you
Mailing
can just have
address.
SMTP server.
Where do I
I
access
think
this
most
code?
people,
Aditya, where do I
sorry.
access this code?
Yeah, it's on GitHub. I will share the link again.
Yeah, I just want to go through this to get a clarity. I need to only put this part so that I can finish this project. It's taken too long.
Yeah, Preeti, you have a question?
Uh, you're able to hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. Actually, sir, I missed the quite a few part of it, but I will be watching it online, sir. But I think you said that you will share the link for the previous term where you had like only Redis and Celery in WSL and the rest in Windows. So if you can share the link for that YouTube link, was it May 2025 or was it Jan 2025?
Just a minute. Okay. So I think I can figure it out. So it will not actually on the project session. I did it last term.
Okay.
I'll share it right now itself. I hope I remember that.
Okay. So this mailing part which is remaining, that you'll be covering it next Monday or how, sir?
Yeah, I can cover it next Monday, or you can watch one of the previous sessions. See, mailing part is exactly what you have to do. You just have to create a function that mails. That's all. And you have
Okay.
to set up as a task. This is a task, right? You have to create
Okay.
a function which mails and just execute it like this.
Okay. And which would you suggest, sir? This
Mail.db.
no, the Gmail SMTP or the other one, the Mailhog.
Whatever comfortable with. Mailhog is more for testing purpose. And if you want to use Gmail, you'll have to provide your own credentials. So that's the only difference.
But
The
then use
configuration part is the only difference.
but the users for the users, then we won't have proper Gmail IDs, right? I mean, we won't have proper email IDs. It is
Yeah,
dummy emails. So then in
yeah.
that case, Mailhog only we'll have to use, right?
You can use Mailhog or you can show emails to your own email ID.
Acha.
No, we
Okay.
can send the mail, right? We need to only send the mail, and then Preeti, if you have a
Yeah,
dummy Gmail account, you can
Huh.
use this SMTP,
Huh.
and as soon as the trigger, it will send the mail, so you can check it in.
But if we show like 5, 6 users, but all users will not have the
Correct.
same email ID,
No,
na,
no, no,
sir?
no. All
Huh.
users will have all dummy emails. Okay.
Huh. But
So
we'll have to show that the email has been received by the users, right?
no, as long as the Gmail says it has been sent and it bounced, that's good enough.
Sir, is it okay or how?
It should be. I
this,
mean, we are checking the method of sending it. If the recipient is not there, so that's all right. You don't have to create a user and then make him be there and then pay the
Because
penalty
I
and all.
think that mail we have to send a report or something, right? No?
Correct.
Isn't it?
no, you
You
don't have
prepare
to
the
send the
report.
report.
No,
You
no.
have
You
to
prepare
send
the
all the
report.
details. Yeah.
The CSV report or something you have to send, right?
Fine. No, Preeti, you prepare the report,
Huh.
send it to the SMTP. SMTP will anyway send it and then it will get bounced. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But in the
So,
sender
acha,
forward,
that is proof enough that that is going, is it? Okay.
obviously,
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Got it. Got it.
that's good enough. I mean,
Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll share. I can't find it right now. It will take a little bit time to find out
Okay.
which session I'm talking about. I'll put up. There's a Git on Discourse. We have a link. I'll
is
put
it
it
in
up
the
there.
list? Is it in the playlist? No.
It is not in the playlist. That's the problem. So in the theory, I took theory session on salary. So in that, I had given that. Windows,
So
having
you
an
put it
application
in
on Windows and using
sorry.
WSL only for the
You'll be
service.
putting it in GitHub, is it? Markdown file you'll be inserting in?
No, on
Oh,
Dispose
acha.
project
Okay, sir.
section.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you,
thanks.
Aditya. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
everyone.
Thank you.